Sterling K. Brown gives us his first project post This Is Us, and Regina Hall gives us the second streaming film of hers in less than 2 weeks. Let's talk about Honk For Jesus, Save Your Soul. Hey guys, Dan here. This is Dan Reviews It. Welcome to my spoiler-free review for the new film Honk For Jesus, Save Your Soul. This is available in select theaters, but you can stream it as well on Peacock. Universal still doing the whole streaming the same day as theaters for some of their projects. So this is the latest one for that. Regina Hall, we just talked about her recently in Me Time over on Netflix, which I reviewed very unfavorably. And Sterling K. Brown, I haven't seen the last couple of seasons of This Is Us, but always a fan of his. So before we get into the specifics of this movie, I want to welcome you into Dan Reviews It. Thank you for finding this video and my channel. Happy to have you aboard here. Would love to have you as one of my subscribers as well, so please consider subscribing down below there, or comment or like on this video, and that would help the channel too. So let's talk about this movie. It basically is loosely based on a real-life preacher from about a decade ago who has now passed, but this is written, directed, and produced by Adama Adibo in her feature directorial debut. So this is a first for her, but other than the names I already mentioned that you might know, Daniel Kaluuya and Jordan Peele are listed as producers on this film. It's under their sort of production banner, and this is about a disgraced pastor who is played by Sterling K. Brown, and his wife, First Lady Trinity, played by Regina Hall. They ran this huge megachurch, and all of a sudden, they had a lot of scandal issues come up, and so they are looking to rebuild that megachurch. But at the same time, there are some rivals that are going to open a new church on the same day that these guys plan to reopen their megachurch. So, little rivalry there. And like I said, this is kind of based on a real situation down south with some, stuff coming up in this megachurch that was corruption and all this kind of thing. This is a satire, a satirical comedy, I guess. But here is the problem. It's not really that satirical, and it's certainly not very comedic. My main problem with this movie, and I have several, but I would say that it is really a very sanitized version of a satire. The church, obviously, and these mega churches, these preachers who, afford themselves private jets and all this stuff with the congregation's money and all of this kind of garbage, has been going on for a while. And we recently saw a movie last year about not quite the same thing, but definitely some corruption with some high-profile church people in real life, and that was The Eyes of Tammy Faye, which was a really, really good movie with Jessica Chastain and Andrew Garfield. I would recommend that one. But that wasn't really satirical. That was more of a, this is what happened to these people. I don't think they're even using the real names of the people that they're sort of skewering in this movie. I didn't really read up that much on it, so maybe I'm wrong on that, but I don't think it's the real people. I think it's just sort of a version, of that archetype. But it takes the easiest kind of lobs at the targets. They're not really skewering anything cleverly or, smartly. It's just all sort of right there already. And they are sort of, I wouldn't even call them jokes, but they're sort of references or jabs that are so basic and bland, and anybody could kind of write it. There's nothing that sets this apart with any sort of cleverness or, satire is supposed to be, really kind of skewering a certain subject or person. And this, I guess, does attempt at doing that, but not really. And then there's the comedy portion, which is almost non-existent. And this is a real shame because I like the two people involved very much. Sterling K. Brown, I really loved his turn in This Is Us, but I've seen him in other things, and he really does have a good range. But it's funny, he hosted SNL couple of years ago, and there's a skit that I return to all the time where he plays this guy who is flustered at a dinner with his girlfriend because the girlfriend's parents don't like the movie Shrek, and so he gets all, and it's, it's a silly premise, but it's a funny sketch, and he's very good in it, but he gets, all sort of flustered about, and that is literally like he's doing the same thing in this movie where he is sort of doing the same sort of beats and stuff as somebody who is sort of at the end of their rope, at the end of their wits. They're doing this. Here's another thing I don't really like about the movie. They are doing this office type style, talk to the camera type of thing because they're going to rebuild their megachurch, and so they want to document it. Whatever. So there's, it's like the mockumentary type thing, and so anytime, he does something that he doesn't want the cameras to capture, he'll be like, oh, you should cut that out, whatever. But he gets so frustrated and cursing and all of this stuff beforehand, and it's sort of that same vibe from the Shrek sketch. It's very bizarre, because I think Sterling K. Brown is better than this. Now, Regina Hall, she gives us, I would say, the best performance in the movie. It's still not good, and that's not her fault. It's the material for sure. There's a couple of scenes that come close to what this movie should be. One where she runs into the gal who is starting the new church and reveals to her, oh yeah, we're starting at Easter Sunday. Oh, well, that's when we're doing our mega church. And they have this sort of surprise back and forth kind of thing that nearly worked. If every scene in the movie was like that, this movie would work. And then there's another one where they go to sort of couples counseling, Regina Hall and Sterling K. Brown's characters, and then the other couple starting the church, and they sort of crash their therapy, and it hints at what this movie could have been. It hints at the comedy laying underneath, and maybe some of the satire of how far will you go to do this, but none of it landed correctly, and I didn't really get any laughs from it. There are some good performances here from the leads, but they are let down at every turn by the script and the direction, and really, even the producer should have stepped in and said, look, maybe we should be, hitting the targets a little harder, something like that. But look, for me, this is easily one of the worst movies of the year. I am glad that I didn't pay to see it. I saw it for free on Peacock, and if you venture out to do the same, I would recommend that route, doing the Peacock bit, so you don't waste your money. Honk for Jesus, Save Your Soul gets an F from me. Only, I think, my fourth one of the year. So, all right, thank you for watching. We'll see everybody next time on Dan Reviews It. Bye.